Welcome to Loleventvods. Watch the full game of today's LTA 2025 matchup.
Loser will bid a early farewell to their split 2.
Not a fond farewell.
Not a fond farewell.
You will not be thinking fondly of the split that you were one of the first teams eliminated in. I will
Probably
definitely say.
not. Probably not.
DSG definitely big underdogs, but it is surprising the 100 Thieves are even here fighting for a lower bracket spot. Everyone was talking about them as kind of one of these teams that is locked in the top 4.
Yep.
You know, really one of those championship contender teams. But they did struggle in the group phase, absolutely. Now, as a result, they are here playing for their playoff lives, but they are going up against DSG, who absolutely is a massive underdog. They went 1-12 so far in this split.
Yep.
So they are going to need to triple their total wins if they want to be able to actually make it to playoffs.
That's wild to think about. Their one win was against Team Liquid, and it looked pretty good. They've had a couple other closer games, but they are still heavy underdogs here.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we got a dog locked in right there. Catching up on bans, it's Rumble, Jace, Poppy on 100 Thieves side, with Gwen, Yone, and Vi on Disguise side, and that's Nefiri locked in early for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, Talia means you're going to get Pantheon or you're going to get Xin Zhao. They are going to go for Pantheon as that point-and-click CC. I will say giving Nefiri over to River is very dangerous. I think he's the best Nefiri in the league. This guy has made magic happen in the team fights. He is so incredibly aggressive, uses the W so well to really draw spells, to draw pressure in these fights, create openings for his teammates. So I do think that is very risky to be giving that over. Varus and Ezreal are up, so I think we're likely to just have a trade of the two. Varus, I think, is the higher priority, but some teams do disagree. So it is going to be Varus. You're looking for a mid laner. It needs to be AP. Ahri definitely fits the bill as something that matches well with the Nefiri. Then on the other side, you are probably expecting just an Ezreal, but instead they are going to go for a blind pick top laner and then use their bans to try to protect that top laner here.
Interesting.
Saying that the Ambessa is pretty high prio. So this is interesting to see that Ambessa get locked in. Castle has been someone who has been so incredibly flexible, has played so many different champions. So I am surprised to see him on red side and picking both your soul laners in that first 3. This will allow them to have counterpick for bot lane, support counterpick on 5. But Sniper hasn't even played Ambessa so far this split. So
yeah, it's one of the ones that he hasn't picked up.
Yeah, so it's surprising because Ambessa would be available later. Yep. I would have thought you'd just go AD on 3, and then you go top laner on 4 if you want to support counterpick. But either way, I guess they're not too concerned about having the Ezreal, having the Callista, which are probably the expected bans here.
Yeah, you know that you're against the Varus, so Scary Jerry can lock in something, and they do play a lot through Huhi. When Disguise do look good, it's Huhi making plays, looking for roams, so I think getting him a counterpick, it does seem to be the name of the game for them here, as we expect that AD carry then support afterwards, and they get to ban out some of those top laners like you were talking about, the Renekton, the Gnar banned away.
Yeah, that's pretty standard stuff. If you are going to pick on 3 there, obviously you are picking blind, but you do get those protection bans for top lane. So they already banned out the Gwen. They already have the Rumble and the Jace taken away on the other side, and now they're going to throw double bans here. The Ezreal, not something that 100 Thieves is concerned about. I did expect it to be Ezreal Callista as the bans. Instead, they ban away Lucian. Lucian Melio has been getting quite popular. So they are more concerned about that. Does mean you can still go towards Ezreal if you want to here. Of course, that is not the only option by any means. Instead, they're going to go Ziggs bot.
Wow.
So this is pretty interesting. So they are playing, more physical damage heavy on the top side with the Pantheon and the Ambessa. So they're going to lock in the Ziggs. And that makes me curious if who he's going to play, really kind of poke heavy for lane, or if he's just going to play more of a roam heavy style and try to get on the map, really affect these lanes.
See, that's what I like about the Ziggs, is that you can answer it as support to try and poke him down, but I like it more that Ziggs can just wave clear from a full screen away. That frees up Huhi to make plays on the map like we know he likes to, backing up a Pantheon who also can make a lot of plays.
And Talia. I mean, it's like you have 3 semi-globals.
The difficulty here is that this composition requires a decent amount of setup and everybody being on the same page, making plays together. The Weaver's Wall, the Pantheon Grand Starfall, whatever he ends up going for, and it's Ribbon locked in for Sniper.
Okay, $20 if you pick Ribbon.
All right, pay up, buddy. Yeah, you got the cash on you? Let's see it.
Better have a crisp 20 there for him.
He's reaching in his pocket. I'm looking at him right now. I think it might be coming out. We'll give an update on that shortly.
Sniper, please don't give first blood. Well, if he does, he can give you the $20 that he just made.
There we go. And I see him holding the $20 in the air. There we go. It's in the audience right now.
Okay. This is going to be exciting. He has yet to lose in pro play on the Ribbon. Only has a couple games in the LTA/LCS on it, but has been winning on it. Leona going to be that final pick, so it is more that roam style, move around the map. They do need hard engage. And it's another great pairing with the Talia. They are really setting up Abbedagga for success here with point and click CC from both the Leona as well as from the Pantheon. Lots of great pairings there to lock people down for that seismic shove. But this is pretty exciting. It's a different style here for DSG, and it feels like so much of the emphasis is going to be put onto Castle. I think Castle is really going to have to do well in the 1v1 here. If he can create a big advantage and they can consistently attack the Riven in the side lane with Ziggs ult and Taliyah ult and Pantheon ult and a roaming Leona, you could maybe put the Riven in the dirt and try to really win the game in that way.
A reminder for non-subscribers that we will see you in 30 seconds, but for everybody else sticking around, what a new look for Disguise in an elimination match. Pulling out new tricks out of the bag. Sniper pulling out old Reliable in the Riven, because this is a best of 3 where the winner advances to playoffs and the loser goes home. Everything on the line for Split 2. All the work, all the effort, all the weeks of scrims has led to this moment. Both of these teams highly motivated, I would say, on that stage.
And Riven, I gotta say, I feel like Riven, at least, as far as solo queue is concerned, is really strong right now. This champion is quite powerful. There's a lot of Riven 1 tricks out there that are definitely thriving these days, we shall say. I do think, when you are playing Ambessa into the Riven, you have to play it fairly defensively early on. It's more about, not taking any all-ins, any extended trades. You want to just be poking and prodding with your Qs and staying out of range of the Riven, because if you allow the Riven to stack Conquer and be able to actually get in on top of you with the third Q, get these stuns, you will just get run over. Like, the amount of damage this champion does is ridiculous. But with Castle playing Grasp, he clearly knows that. It's going to be about short trades and using your mobility to just dodge out from these stuns and not allow Riven to have these really extended trades.
And we saw already Sniper giving a little high five to Castle up in the top lane. That's why I call it when they just throw out one ability and then walk away. So just saying, hey, I see you up there. But now we see the jungler starting on opposite sides. XU will be on Vision right now. Currently, River is not, but they'll be pathing to opposite sides of the Rift regardless.
Yeah, and River's going to get spotted when he goes over towards the Raptors, so there should be no real surprises here on what either team is doing. As Hui stepping forward there, and Ayla just going to be able to take a nice little Aftershock trade. Hui responds in kind.
See, it's a little high five.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what it looks like also. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Just with the shield, Shield to anchor high five. I guess it's a high 2, high 1. We'll get back to you on that one. Bot lane, I expect to have a little bit more priority coming in from the Ziggs, the ability to clear the wave, to hit level 2 right here. And there it is. So FBI and Ayla walking back slightly, but no big advantage either way currently.
Yeah, no massive advantage. I'm going to be really interested to see how Scary Jerry actually does perform on the Ziggs. It will be, the first one for him this split. But looking career long,
it's not one that I think of when I think of Scary Jerry. Yeah.
So he has 6 games played, 50% win rate. So he has played it a little bit, in Tier 2 and in Collegiate and so on, but not yet in Tier 1, having played it. And it's always interesting to watch, because some players come in and they look really, really comfortable. Other players come in and they're just hitting minions, right? They're just kind of playing that wave clear style. But Ziggs can actually play fairly aggressive. You can find these windows of opportunity. And I feel like a lot of the skill expression is around how you use your satchel, right? Can you actually use the satchel to interrupt dashes? Can you use the satchel to find picks and to find these aggressive plays? Because Ziggs really does have opportunities to go pretty aggressive. It's not just about sitting and wave clearing and looking for poke.
But when I think about Scary Jerry as a player and, the strengths of him, the weaknesses of him, he's gotten picked off quite a few times this split so far. Ziggs can also play with great range in team fights. Harder to actually pick off a Ziggs than something like a Misfortune, which I know he's gotten a little more criticism on positioning for. So I think that, theoretically, I see the angle. I see why DSG would go for something like this for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think, like I was touching on earlier, when you're going to play a comp that's built heavily around globals, often you want to play around side lanes. And something that enables you to play side lanes is wave clear, right?
Yeah.
So that is something that is quite powerful. A lot of this series, though, very likely to come down to 100 Thieves dynamic duo. Quid and River, they are the stars of the team. These guys really have been the ones, ever since they've kind of joined up as a duo, to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. There was a ton of excitement when FBI joined, because it was kind of this thought that, okay, now they have another lane that can really be carrying. It's not just going to be about River and Quid. But though they have had their struggles, they have had some really bright moments still this split. And I think, River and Quid, when they're at their best, are super aggressive and can just dominate in team fights.
Yeah, and also not afraid to make action happen. They're the trigger pulls for the team quite often, as Quid actually takes a big chunk from Abadaga right there, who's been trying his best to kind of make a comeback in the region. Abadaga, I know we saw him a couple of years ago in the north, But now rejoining us here, he's very motivated to show that he has improved from the last time we saw him.
Absolutely. And though Quid did take a big chunk there, he had not yet used his TP where Avadaga had already done it. So, you know, what you often try to do is if you can force your opponent to take an early TP, then you spend your health and your mana to try to chunk them prior to you TPing back to force them to base or to try to lock them in lane where you have then that HP or mana advantage. In this case, Avadaga was able to get the wave in, so not really a concern. But that's why Quid, I think, wasn't too worried about taking a bit of a bad trade there. He goes back to base. He grabs Null Magic. Is going to need Merc Treads. Absolutely. Probably pretty much everyone is going to need Merc Treads when you look over at the amount of point-and-click CC that DSG do have. Generally, Leona alone is like enough to force it, but when there's Leona, Pantheon, you know, that is really starting to get to those dangerous levels where if you don't have Merc Treads and you go forward, you just get stuns 100-0.
Yeah, and to that mid lane point you were just making, Avadaga was able to get it back off and get into lane fast enough to contest the wave. That means that XU's confident enough to start this up, and with teleport on Scary Jerry Ziggs, this seems to be a confirmed early dragon for Disguise, but River's now over the wall. He might just look for the steal. Ayla and FBI walking up, Dredgeline lands onto Scary Jerry. They picked off the Ziggs through everybody. Weaver's Wall now coming in, but not quite far enough forward. Now Avadaga's trying to get in there. Quid looking for the engage onto Huhi, and the dragon goes to 100 Thieves. They'll also get a kill to start things off. Traded back onto Ayla, flash from Avadaga. Quid continues the chase. He's able to get one. Looking for another one. Still Spirit Rushing over the wall. Scary Jerry in full retreat, and 100 Thieves just crush the fight and get the dragon.
Yeah, 100 Thieves did not agree that that was going to be Disguised Dragon. They show up, they jump over the wall here, and they just position aggressively, and Scary Jerry is way too far forward. I'm not sure if there was confusion on if they were going to be fighting or what, but he was ahead of where XU and Huhi were. Either they need to all back up, he needs to get there earlier, or someone needs to block that hook, because immediately Scary Jerry loses so much health. He does satchel out, but then not only do you lose the dragon, XU goes down first, Hui's caught in the back of the pit, Avadaga has to flash out, trying to get away, but Quid is always going to be there, gets the kill, gets the reset, is able to chase down Scary Jerry as well. It's an absolute disaster fight here for DSG.
Ooh.
And when we talked about it in draft, you're trying to play with this kind of composition around Castle and around what he's doing in the top lane. Well, you just took an all-in fight and went 1 for 4, where Castle's not even involved.
We call that one not ideal right there. And yeah, again, the positioning.
Unless you're 100 Thieves.
Unless you're 100 Thieves, true. It depends on
ideal.
context. It depends on, you know, which side you're looking from here. Scary Jerry getting hooked did start all that off, though, so looking for more defensive plays from the Ziggs as Ayla's just walking him down. We have Quid walking from mid lane, but no Spirit Rush, no Flash means that Scary Jerry and Huhi can back off. Quid's just going to try and clear some vision. Now Quid actually needs Rivers back up here to get back into the mid lane, and Rivers also pushing Avadaga off. So 100 Thieves just working as a pretty well-oiled machine here. Everybody covering each other's roams, covering each other's looks.
Yep, so far so good. And when you get ahead with this kind of composition that does have so much of an ability to really get aggressive, to play in their opponent's face, it is going to be very hard for DSG. The Ahri is quite fed already, and River here on the Nefiri, like I said, I feel like he is the best Nefiri in the league. This guy just plays it so aggressively, really knows how to play it to that limit, and I feel like you have to do that to really be an effective Nefiri. You just dive in the middle of everyone, you jump backward, dodging skill shots, you use the W to draw ultimates, to draw pressure, and it creates so much space for your opponents because you can't just ignore the Nefiri or the Nefiri kills you, and if you spend everything on the Nefiri and he's just dodging it all, then you're kind of just losing the fight anyway. So it's one of those champions where you really have to have confidence that you're going to be able to go in and just straight up outplay.
One of the most annoying champions to do exactly what River did at that dragon, just jumping over the wall. It's like, what are you going to do? You just commit fully onto him, and instead it's actually making a play onto the bot side. FBI throws the Chains of Corruption, cleanse and flash, gets to safety.
Yep, good little bit of pressure there from DSG. Is able to cleanse out of the Pantheon stun, but then with Huhi flashing forward, he knows if the follow-up CC does hit him, he is cooked, so it costs him his flash as well. Now, this is going to mean DSG do get the push, though, and maybe Scary Jerry can farm a plate or something. Quid is moving down here, though, and the rest of the DSG team is moving up towards mid side, so Ayla might actually just catch Scary Jerry.
Just flash forward with the auto. Scary Jerry does use the satchel, but the dredge line lands, and Quid follows up. 100 Thieves find another kill in the bot lane.
Yeah, they just didn't expect that Quid would already be down there. I think the thought process from XU and Huhi was, okay, now we pushed FBI back, so Quid will be roaming down and we'll cut him off in the river. We'll cut him off in the river, we'll catch him in the jungle or something like that. Quid was already past them. And so Scary Jerry is just walking up thinking it's only Nautilus here. I'm going to be able to farm and play. Ends up dying again, which is definitely costly. It's already a 2.4K gold lead. We're 9.5 minutes into the game. This one is getting away from DSG very, very quickly. And even in the isolated top lane matchup, it's looking better for Sniper. And he's going to be going towards Eclipse, which is a cheaper item. So he's going to have that one item power spike even faster. And it's just kind of looking like 100 Thieves wins all across the board.
Yeah, and this is what you wanted to see from a team like 100 Thieves, is this resurgence. They had a couple of rough weeks. They did not do as well in the group as we were expecting. But up against DSG, I mean, if we had just said how close do you think this series would be, I'd say I'm predicting a 2-0 for 100 Thieves. Now, this is very one-sided for game number 1 here, but I'm happy to see that they are playing together. They're playing around the bottom side of the map exceptionally well. And like you had highlighted at the beginning, River and Quid kind of being the engine. It's River just being there first, and then Quid being the firepower to back up the plays.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is going to be very difficult for them to come back, but DSG definitely not out of it just yet. We'll see if they can find some opportunities here to make some plays. And when you do have Ziggs, if you win a team fight, sometimes you can knock down some towers pretty quickly thereafter and try to find a way in that way. The top side, though, for 100 Thieves, definitely on their power spikes. Double Eclipse now completed. It is such cheap items that you are going to have those a lot faster, especially when you have that good start here. And Quid, who got 3 early kills, he's almost got his full first item, plus already built up his Merc Treads. So things are looking good. And Sniper
7-0.
7-0. Not all of those are in Tier 1. Some of those are in other leagues, but he has yet to lose on the Riven. It's a signature pick for him. It was a signature pick for his brother as well.
Yeah.
When Viper was in the league, their whole family, it feels like,
they all compete to see who's the best.
Ridiculous.
I know Crimson, throw his name in there as well. They always compete to see who's the best Riven. Sniper does believe it's him, as you know.
I'm sure they all believe it's him.
I bet you if you asked any of them, yeah. But either way, it hasn't been the focal point so far, but we do expect it to do a lot of work as now that first item is completed. But instead, he's fading bot side. 100 Thieves are starting up the Dragon, and now they're trying to block off Huhi.
Look at the Riven TP, though. It's pretty dangerous.
Yeah, very far forward. The rest of the team's not quite there, but Quid is looking over the wall. Ooh. Talia does not land. The seismic shove is now re-engaged here in onto Castle. Now he's all alone. A Sniper jumps in on a Scary Jerry, finds the assassination. 100 Thieves' top laner getting a lot of work done with that teleport.
Yeah, nicely done there. Huhi got poked out. He had to retreat. And then even with that difficult TP location from Sniper, they couldn't actually combo up. Abadoga missed the seismic shove.
Yeah.
Wasn't quick enough off of XU's stun there. And that allowed Sniper to have some free time. Castle tries to go in. He's kind of sectioned out. And then Sniper finds the angle to flash in to get a kill onto Scary Jerry, picking him off again, getting themselves the Dragon. 100 Thieves winning out even more. And now they have the feats accomplished. So they got the upgraded boots, and we can see it one more time.
Yeah, he doesn't have to flash the initial seismic shove, and that's huge for the play that happens right afterward.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they go in, they get the charm, they get the combo down on the Huhi. He's looking like he's already in a dangerous spot. Huhi doesn't have the confidence to move over to that TP. There is the stun, but it's just too little too late. He's able to just straight up walk out of it there. And Huhi was too low to feel like he could move over. Then as Castle goes forward, the rest of the team is saying, okay, we need to actually step forward and try to support him. But Scary Jerry gets caught by Sniper, as does Abadoga. The Ziggs goes down again in a hurry, and Ayla's enjoying this one.
And you could tell with the Broken Wings third cast plus the flash forward, not a lot of reaction time there. So Sniper understanding the champion very well and showing what you can do on the Riven. 2,500 gold lead for 100 Thieves plus 2 dragons in their pocket. And everything going the way. They even got the grubs as well. So that's already feats of strength claimed very early. We've seen a couple of late feats of strength this weekend. Not in this game number 1.
Nope, about as fast as you can get it, pretty much. Grabbing all those objectives instantly. They did not need the first hour, but they got the first 3 objectives of the game, plus they got the first 3 kills in their very first fight at the first objective. So check, check, check. And they have those upgraded shoes looking really good.
Did you draft any 100 Thieves players for your fantasy?
I actually drafted all 100 Thieves players for my
all
fantasy,
100 Thieves players. Well, you know what? Maybe we can get a tracker as the game goes on.
I think they're going to do me proud this week. I'm hoping.
Yeah, at least Quid so far. A lot of it comes down to the kill participation. Or not 100%, but 4 there. As Abadoga is in a 1v1 versus Sniper. Not enough damage, but now Grand Starfall comes through. Instead, Sniper's now fading upwards towards Ayla. Flash forward from XU. Ayla is right there, but Sniper's in trouble. Sniper will go down. Abadoga with the kill, but Huhi will be sacrificed as well. 1-for-1 trade.
Yep, 1-for-1 trade at the end of the day, but it is going to be the Pantheon ult, the flash as well from XU to be able to chase down Sniper and kill him. River's going to be able to push them back. On the top side, though, they are trading for the damage that Castle is getting down on this tower. They're going to push up mid with the Ahri, and you can see the FBI is down on the bot side as well. When Sniper spawns, he has no teleport, so Castle will have some alone time up there, but they're looking for a potential redive, and they're going to teleport to support.
Yeah, XU is going to stick around here because they want to save their turret. If they can get that first turret top side, that gets Castle a little bit more back in the game, because Sniper got that earlier kill. Taking him out buys time. Castle won't actually stick around for the full turret, though. So I would assume that this means that this reset will get him a completed item.
Yeah, I already have the Shojin completed, so is feeling okay about that.
Oh, flash from Abadaga. Gets the flick that time. Ayla under the turret. Has the ultimate. Now FBI's looking for the kill. Will tank 2 turret shots and get out of there. 100 Thieves, successful dive.
Yeah, going to be pretty happy about the trade. Even though Ayla goes down, it was the flash off Abadaga, and they get the kill, so he's going to lose some of that farm. FBI picks up the kill. Doesn't have to spend any of his summoners, so he is really happy about his position. 4 kills on your AD carry, 3 kills on your mid laner. They've got early items.
Not bad.
They are way ahead of the pace of the game. It is looking so good for 400 Thieves, and it's just going to be a question of how quickly can they continue to snowball this game. You know, if DSG doesn't put a stop to it, it is going to be really tough. And it's third dragon here already in a minute and a half. They are looking at a potential soul point at 17-ish minutes if they can grab that. And then you're facing soul at 22 minutes. And so that is going to be very difficult for DSG. They either need to be able to stall out the game or, you know, somehow steal away one of these dragons to really buy them some time.
I do like what they're doing right now because Abadaga, remember, he died after TPing bot side, so they sent him top. They have now Castle bot side. If there's a play at the Herald, now they can at least get Castle there. So I think DSG, yeah, like you said, they're trying to stall out the game and not give as many angles for 100 Thieves to make plays here.
One thing I will say is I would like to see, you know, Abadaga being able to maybe hover Castle, have XU playing more around mid, and then you can kind of try to use these double globals to get a 3v1 on the side.
Okay.
Because if you have the Pantheon just playing exclusively towards Abadaga, then Abadaga's not really getting any value out of his ultimate.
Sure.
And I feel like they need to make some kind of odd man plays, right? Like if it's a 1v1, if it's 2v2, you can expect them to lose every single one of those. So I feel like at this point, you want to try to overload one side of the map and just try to pile on someone like Quid, who's now in an isolated 1v1.
Yeah.
Don't even bother trying to fight this because I just feel like there's no way you're going to win.
This is what Disguise do. They like to scrap, and this was the concern coming into this because 100 Thieves do as well, and usually they're able to pull it off here. So if Disguise do want to contest this, they're teleporting in. Castle's joining Grand Starfall. FBI could be in some trouble, but instead they focus down in on the River. Hound's pursuit to try and survive, but River flashes out of there. He's alive. Quid now goes for his own play here, chasing down Scary Jerry while Sniper's frontlining for 100 Thieves. That is the Herald secured by FBI. Now Quid links up. They get 1, they get 2. He's in trouble. Make it 3. 100 Thieves
Make it 5.
yet again are just crushing this. 4 fall. Abadaga alone under the top turret. We are going to get a clean ace potentially. 100 Thieves, they want to go for the dive. Abadaga does not have summoner spells. He is in a lot of trouble right here. Hex Flash from Ayla. Dredgeline lands, tanking up the turret. There it is. Clean ace to the Thieves.
Yes, how you feel about those side lane plays now? I mean, it's tough. I get it. You want to try to fight for these objectives, but I just don't think they were really in a position to do so. And now we're going to see the Tokyo Drift here. FBI drives it from mid lane all the way down the bot lane, but he jumps out on the wrong side here as he was bouncing at the back of the tower.
So who's teleporting? That's going to be Scary Jerry. So only
Not the scariest
charge.
teleport.
Not the scariest, yeah. Satchel charge
It is
will
the
land,
Jerriest,
but...
though.
Oh, no. Is that going to be... Is that a thing now? Scariest versus the Jerriest. But either way, the Dragon is up here. Not 17 minutes exactly, but 18. They were slightly delayed. They had other things to do, like reset and
like
spend 10,000 gold. Yeah. But Disguise now are starting this one up here. Let's see if 100 Thieves can actually get in there. And yet again, River jumps over the wall. No flash this time, but Hound's Pursuit still available. Hasn't used it yet. XU's not enough damage to threaten immediately. There it is. He was over the wall. They're onto River. Everything committed onto the Nefiri, but that means that Quid can unleash on the Abadaga. And River's still alive. Finally falls down. But is that enough? XU's over the wall, can't get in onto the Dragon. He's gonna fall, and everything is falling apart for Disguise. Another Dragon to the Thieves.
I mean, look at how much they spent on River there. It's just ridiculous how much he's actually soaking. You know, you're flash stunning him, you're throwing all your ultimates at him, you're throwing the seismic shove at him. You're just spending everything on this Nefiri, who doesn't really even have a lot of kills.
Nope.
River's just going to get in your face. He's going to force you to target him. He's going to be able to deal with that very easily on the Nefiri, but we are looking back to this previous fight. Again, it was River that was the target. They just didn't quite have the damage to burst him down. Pantheon comes in. There's the stun into the flick, into the follow-up CC, but the W there immunes the follow-up stun from the Leona. as well as the public execution from Castle. And when you don't kill him initially there's not much going on. You can see Quid was 1v1ing Scary Jerry very easily on the top side, forces the flash. We're back to live again, back to that replay more recently, as again, he's able to just eat so much CC, uses his W to immune the seismic shove here, and just tanks basically everything. Like, yes, you eventually kill him, but the fight is so lost because everyone else from 100 Thieves are just free hitting you during it, and this game is just such a stomp.
Yeah, it's a hard game, guys.
It is a hard game. I think we just have to keep look.
It's a bit of a hard game.
You see his expression when he started explaining how they can come back, he's just like,
But this was the concern coming in, is that when Disguised play the game, they like the fight. They will group at almost every objective. They will contest you for everything. And 100 Thieves, in a way, does the same thing, but just do it a little cleaner.
Yeah, I mean, I would say a lot cleaner. 100 Thieves, you know, they are kind of known for their team fights. You know, even the very best team in the league will give them the credit. You know, they are really good at team fighting. You know, they do have their mistakes where they'll throw something away.
Yeah,
exactly. But they are very good as far as the hands. You know, generally when people beat them, they try to play more around the map. They try to capitalize on mistakes. If you just scrap with 100 Thieves, that is their game plan, man. That is what they love to do.
Like, look at it. 5 members of Disguised in their bottom jungle. Otacon's there. I guess they're doing it for the blue buff, but nobody's in the top wave. Nobody's in the mid wave. Disguised, this is just what they're doing right now. They're grouping up and trying to just kind of force control certain areas of the map, and they're not even going to stop 100 Thieves from starting the Otacon.
Yeah, I mean, 100 Thieves wants to fight. So great, you're grouped. That means we can kill you all. Well, come to us. We're going to fight the Otacon here as Quid is just going to be chunking Castle. And
public execution misses. Just a sidestep from Quid. Now the Weaver's wall. Quid just spear rushes over, says, all right, I'm going to actually take this fight. Charm lands. Quid styling on Abadaga.
Oh, he's just embarrassing him.
Oh, no. He even looks for more. The satchel charge does not come back, but Quid with the outplay.
Oh my God, Quid is just styling on him out there, man. That is tough.
He spear rushed away. It was like, wait a minute, I could take this 1v4. This works for me. And now the team says we're just gonna jump between turrets, take out Exy real quick. Make this a very fast game of League of Legends. Dragon's Soul point picked up for 100 Thieves, and now they're pushing in onto turrets. There's an inhibitor turret available for them. They make it 2. Sniper's going to get another tier 2 turret bot side. This is a stop.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're going to get the tier 2 top at the same time. We are well over a 10,000 gold lead here. It's about to be over 11,000 if they do actually finish this off. And it is 22 minutes into the game. That is absolutely crazy there. Quid definitely having some fun. 7-0-6. He's already got a 16 stack Mage Eyes here. And he is just dancing on him, man. It's like, it's tough. It's tough out there for DSG.
Shout out to Sniper. I mean, you look at the kill participation, like 11 for River, 13 for Quid. Everybody doing their part. Sniper's like, I'm here, guys. Still 4-1-1. Yeah, top lane life.
Surprised you've been involved in a kill. But he's going to be able to dodge out on the public execution here. He goes back there saying, all right, you know what? We just got to send it. They already know they're in a horrible, horrible spot. So Abadaga looks, can't find it. Quid's just going to come right back over the wall, nails him with the charm. Just going so aggressive in their face because he knows if they ever try to actually turn around and fight me, the rest of my team arrives, they all die, right? So DSG doesn't really have any recourse there. Golden Glue's like, oh my God, what is he doing to him?
Quid, he ate his Wheaties for breakfast. Yeah. He's got his vitamins in this morning.
Now they're going to do it, man. This is, you just said, this is what they should have done instead of fighting the Herald all that time ago.
Yeah.
You just send 3 to a side lane, and you use your semi-globals, and you look for picks. Like, that is your only realistic way to come back in a game where you're already that far behind.
Probably, he just walks away. They didn't actually pull the trigger, and he's got Spear Rush, he's got Flash, so like, Quid's a hard one to lock down.
He really is, and it just gets harder as you get later in the game because it becomes so obvious when you're not answering waves. It's like, okay, you're not answering waves bot, you're not answering waves mid. Where could you be, right? So you're just going to play it really, really safe because at this point, 100 Thieves know that as long as we push out our waves and we walk in together, it's basically unlosable, right? You just have to make sure that there's not a 3v1, a 4v1, that type of play. And now they see all that play revealed on top side, so they're just going to hard shove. They're going to take away jungle camps. They can retreat back and take the dragon here, no problem. And that would be Soul that's on the table for them. So River is just going to solo this up. I don't think there's even going to be a contest for DSG. they are just going to have to cede the Dragon Soul.
One of the fastest Dragon Souls I've seen this split, and could be one of the fastest games as well. The current fastest game, 25-20. If 100 Thieves just go rush, win a team fight in the end, maybe they can do it?
Nah.
Okay.
They got a minute. They're basing. They don't have Baron.
I believe that was FlyQuest versus C9 yesterday.
Yeah, I don't think they could do it unless. Yeah, no, actually, there's just no way. There's no way. But it is looking like a very fast game, and we'll see if they can beat the series record.
Yeah, yesterday that was a whole 6 minutes ahead of the previous fastest series. And they're going to go for another play right now, so looking to start it up. There we go, River going in with the ultimate. Scary Jerry has to flash away, but the flash follow. Quid is just unstoppable in these team fights. Ayla CC's Abadaga. River picks up that kill as the rest of DSG in full retreat mode. XU try to get back to the safety of the turret and just cannot get there. Quid spear rushing over the wall into the base of Disguised. Oh no, Disguised up to whomever's left. The charm lands again. We're diving past the in-him turret, and 100 Thieves are just crushing Disguised in their own base.
Yeah, but they're just having fun at this point. They didn't have a minion wave. Who needs it? Just go back and grab the Baron after it. Keep the good times rolling.
Oh,
it's 22-4.
man.
You know what? Go for a 15-minute game. This could really work out well for my fantasy
You're
points.
right, actually. I wasn't thinking about it that way. This is where you do just farm up those points
type
here.
them in game.
I don't think you're allowed to.
Too fast. Slow it down. Hey, Jad has been trying to coerce
really
players
has been, yeah.
into going for his picks.
Every time. It's crazy. We got to
If Jad's
put a
allowed to
muzzle
match
on that
picks,
guy.
why can't I? You know?
Seniority? I don't know. I'm not going to question that one. Either way, though, this is a stomp in game number 1. 100 Thieves are making quick work of Disguise, and now with the Baron, I'm expecting a swift victory for the remainder of this one. If 100 Thieves can't close this one out.
You know? And think of all the fantasy points, Kankus.
Yeah, you're really still on this
leaving
one.
so many on the table.
Well, see, I'm a true fan, Azael. Fantasy points aside, I want to see some good League of Legends, and that includes a team that has a 13,000 gold lead closing out the game in clean fashion. They get Abadaga's flash right there. Ayla was looking for it.
Yeah, Sniper thought he was going to be able to get him locked down, but unfortunately, Ayla couldn't actually lock him down, so Sniper ends up using the ultimate for not too much. They do have some okay wave clear, but of course, they are definitely very easily within diving territory. 14k advantage. Ooh. We'll see if they want to try to force it. I mean, FBI now spent his ult, as did Sniper, so the tools are a little bit more risky now to try to go for it, but they are still feeling incredibly confident. I mean, River's just going to hop in and start harassing them in the base. Yeah,
I'm going to say I don't think it really matters if they don't have as many ultimate cooldowns. That gold lead is enough on its own. They break the middle turret. That inhibitor's now exposed. Abadaga does land the flick that time onto River, but now Scary Jerry again, just getting popped by Quid. Already takes down Huhi. Scary Jerry to follow. Quid locked down under the turret, but gets out of there. A double kill to Quid, another double to FBI, and 100 Thieves make quick work of Disguised in game number 1, but they do, for your favor, Azael, want to pad the fantasy stats a little bit more. I imagine they're going to dive. They have to go for it. Abadaga is not long for this world if I know our pro players. Okay, oh, there was the dredge line. Focus up. Oh no, he's into the stasis. That's cheating. Chains of Corruption, they got him. There we go. 100 Thieves take game 1.
But not too shabby. 27-5, 18,000 gold lead at 27 minutes. Let's be honest, this one was over after the first dragon fight. They smashed him in the fights.